Welcome back, students, in continuation with the online class series of class 12th biology, and we are proceeding up with chapter 2nd, that is sexual reproduction in flowering plants. In the previous video we have talked about the structure of the anther lobe, the internal structure of the anther lobe. We have looked at the TS of the section of the anther lobe, and we have also talked about the process of microsporogenesis, that is the formation of the pollen grains, which are known as the microspores. Now today we are going to talk about what are pollen grains and what is the structure of the pollen grains and what is the economic importance of the pollen grains indeed. So when we are talking about pollen grains, they are often referred to as the male gametophytes or the male gametes. Pollen grains, as I told you all in the previous video or in the previous class, that the anther lobe, it produces a large number of the pollen grains. They are produced in a number of quantity. Since a single microspore mother cell is capable of formation of 4 pollen grains, and hence a large number of the PMC mother cells are present, that is the pollen mother cells are present within a given microsporangium, and hence a large number of the pollen grains, they are developed within a given anther lobe. After the dehiscence of the anther, a large number of them are exposed, and we can see them and we can feel them as a yellowish dust-like substance or powdery substance on the anther lobes. So what is the structure of the pollen grains? When we are talking about the structure of the pollen grains, majority of the plant species, they have got spherical pollen grains, but it may vary in different species. In different species, the structure of the pollen grain is different. That is the outer architecture or the outer modifications are different, but the basic structural plan remains the same. And we are going to talk about here the basic structural plan of the pollen grain. That is, every pollen grain, it comprises of 2 layers. The outermost is known as the XII, so this is the general structural plan of the pollen grain. And when we are talking about the pollen grains, as I said you all, that the pollen grain is made up of 2 layers, that is the outer layer, which is known as the XII, and the inner layer, which is known as the intine layer. The XII layer, it is made up of a substance which is known as sporopollenin. This sporopollenin is very, very tough and very, very resistant in nature, and it is so much resistant that it even withstand very, very higher temperatures and even the effects of acids and alkalis. That means there is no agencies by which we can degenerate the sporopollenin layer or the XII layer. This sporopollenin layer or the XII layer is continuous all over the the pollen grain, but at a particular place it becomes discontinuous, and this very particular place is known as the germ pore. This germ pore is having a very significant position in reproduction, since it is through this pore that the pollen tube formation takes place. Now talking about the intine layer, is present just beneath the XII layer, and it is made up of cellulose and pectin. It is a continuous layer and is present all over the what to say, the pollen grain. Then talking about the cytoplasm is very well covered with a membrane which is known as the plasma membrane, and it encloses two cells. One cell is known as the vegetative cell, which is larger in size, and the other cell is known as the generative cell, which is smaller in size. The vegetative cell has got abundant amount of the nutrient material present in them, and it is having an irregularly shaped what to say, the nucleus. The generative cell, as you all can see, it is small and spindle shaped in structure, and it is having a dense cytoplasm and plus a prominent nucleus. This generative cell, it remains in the floating condition in the vegetative cell. It is at this particular stage, that is this particular stage is known as the two-cell stage. That is, it is at this particular stage when we say that the pollen grain, it has become matured and it is shed off from the plant, and it is carried away to the other plant for the act of reproduction or fertilization. So in majority of the species, that is about 60% of the angiosperms, the pollen grains are shed off at the two-cell stage. But in the remaining species, what happens that this generative cell, it undergoes division, and it produces two more what to say, the generative cell, and now this stage is known as the three-celled stage. So this is what is known as this is what is known as the structure of the pollen grain. Now talking about the economic importance of the pollen grains, these pollen grains are very well preserved as the what to say, the fossils, since sporopollenin is present on them. This sporopollenin, as I said you all, it is very resistant, it is very protective in nature. It cannot be degenerated by the effect of the temperature, or by the effect of the pressure, or by the effect of the acids and alkalis. Hence these pollen grains, they are preserved in nature for a long period of time. So these can be very well preserved as fossils. Plus these pollen grains, as I said you all, that they are having very high economic importance, since they are the causative agents of a large number of the respiratory disorders like what to say, asthma and bronchitis. These pollen grains, they are the causative agents of asthma and bronchitis. For example, the pollen grains of Parthenium grass, that is, which is known as the carrot grass, they are the basic causative agents of asthma. Now talking about another economic importance of these, that is, they are, as I said you all, that they contain a higher what to say, nutrient material present within them. So these are very well used as a source of nutrients or as a source of energy by a large number of the athletes. Nowadays pollen tablets or pollen syrups, they are very well available in the market, and a large number of the athletes as well as the race horses are provided with these pollen tablets or the pollen syrups for providing energy, extra energy or supplements to these athletes or the race horses. So now when these pollen grains, these are shed off at the stigma of the ovary, it depends upon the varied pollen grains or the various species, that for how long period of time they are going to be viable. The viability period means for how much longer time the pollen grains, they are able to fertilize the ovary or ovary of the female what to say, female structure or the female gamete. So in every species of the angiosperms, the viability period is different. For example, in rice, wheat, etc., the viability period is of just a few seconds. But in a large number of the other species like the Solanaceae, the Rosaceae, etc., the viability period extends for months, for a period of a month. So this is all about the pollen grains. Now we are going to talk about the female reproductive structure, that is the ovary. Thank you.